like, let me tell you, if you piss me off and you tell me I can't do something and I know that I can, I internally know that I can, I'm showing everybody something, and then I'm gonna shake it at you too. Like that's that's my biggest problem. Like, I just
problem. Doesn't sound like a problem.
I am an issue.
Not at all.
I'm a walking issue. Yeah, you haven't talked to me very much. Just you wait till I send you something really fucked up, and you're like, "What's wrong with this human?"
Well, I think you might be in good company, Casey.
Oh no!
All right.
Don't encourage that kind of behavior.
Hey guys, just want to let you know that the title sponsor for today's show is, of course, again, the Yacht Treatment Center. This is where I went to have my quite transformative experience for the entire month of November of last year, where I was able to experience some treatment for some traumas that I'd experienced while in active addiction, and of course some of the underlying traumas that led to addiction in the first place. If you have traumas that you feel might be holding you back in life, definitely worth checking them out, guys. They are a clinic run by clinicians, and they know that where addiction is a smoke, trauma is a fire. Thanks for listening, guys. Now, here's your show. Hello, everybody. Watchers, listeners, supporters of all kinds. Welcome to another episode of Kaleidoscope Wednesday on the Ashes to Awesome podcast. I'm your host, Chuck LaFlange. With me in virtual studio, halfway around the world, is my co-host, Ryan Bathgate. How you doing today, Ryan?
Good, man. You know, another day, another dollar, that kind of thing.
Awesome.
I'm here, present, healthy-ish.
And a special guest with us in virtual studio from a little bit between Ryan and I is Casey Jordan. He's in Ohio, I do believe.
Yeah. In Greenfield, Ohio tonight.
Greenfield, Ohio tonight. On his way to a meeting. He's blessed us with his time.
We're here.
And I do. Okay. I do appreciate it. So some background on who Casey is, guys. He did record an episode with us. I can't remember the number of the episode, but I will put it in the show notes. Not that long ago, kind of telling us his 202. There you go, 202. Kind of telling us his story and you know what he's all about, where he's from, throes of addiction, kind of the usual. No, I don't want to say the usual because I don't want to minimize it. Definitely has a recovery story. The reason that we brought Casey on today is, as of late, we've become quite close friends since that recording. We have a group chat where all sorts of nonsense ensues daily, but not just nonsense either. Casey's been kind of keeping us up to date. He's had some setbacks in life or some things happening in his life that haven't been all that positive, but he's been sharing with us and quite frankly with a lot of his followers, and he has plenty of those on his couple of Facebook pages, and he's finding some strength now. And you know, it didn't lead to relapse, which is awesome. He's finding some strength now and kind of getting his purpose back. And I wanted to bring him on to talk with Ryan about that because some of you may have heard, Ryan has unpacked a couple pretty awesome things, my own journey on myself as well. And I just kind of wanted to unpack, Casey, how you go from, while you're in recovery the way you are, events that would have led to relapse in the past, you've now found some strength. And I want Ryan to help unpack that. So, Ryan, why don't you just kick this off and kind of ask whatever questions you feel are pertinent.
Well, first of all, I want to change a little language there. You know, so you said that, you know, you've gone through some things that are not positive or less than positive. I would say the asset has yet to be revealed, because I think everything we go through has value, and at times we're not ready to see it. At times it's not ready to show us, but it always seems to have fruit somehow, some way down the line. Even the shittiest stuff that I've been through has had some value in my life. And it's really a matter of choice and perception. Once again, you know, like choosing to see it in a different way. But I mean, you know, there's times that I don't want it. And so sometimes I just want to feel like this is bullshit, you know? And I want to be in that space. And I'm going to be. And that has value. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then, so like, you know, it's really cool to me, Casey, you just hear a little bit about that because, like, you know, I've been at this a long time, man, and I am always getting out of one rut and into this heightened state of elation as a human being, you know, and then bam, 2 weeks later, I'm back in a rut. What the hell happened? You know what I mean? And like, and you know what? Like, let's be honest, it's an easy reset, a relapse. Yeah. It's just like
it's an easy way out.
It's easy. You just because you relapse and then you're surrounded when you come back, you know, and like that's great. You're supported by that. But what if we didn't have to burn it down first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's kind of cool of me. So I don't know the ins and outs of what's been happening for you, Casey, but you're on your way to fellowship meeting. Can I ask which one? You don't actually. No, never mind. Doesn't matter.
No, it's I'm not. I'm not anonymous at all.
Yeah. I know. So, that. What does that say? And you're not going by yourself. You're not going with a dark cloud of shame over your head. Seems to me that you're fucking crushing a cheeseburger and on your way to a good time.
Yeah. Really, I was in a position of a jumping off point of I was gonna commit a crime, or a crime was gonna be committed in a situation where just shouldn't happen, and it should have never came to what it did. But it takes everything that happens to get me here, and I like what you said. More will be revealed. It's like the Chinese saying, there's a guy, and he's somebody comes up to him, he's like, your son broke his leg, and he's like, good. He's like, what do you mean? Never mind. And he's like, the next day they're like, hey, we're going to war, and the guy's like, good. What do you mean? Why are you not sad? And he's like, or whatever. And then the next day, something else really, really bad happens. The guy just says, good. Because you don't know. I've had more since I spent 19 days in hell. I was subject to some kind of domestic violence stuff that shouldn't have happened. Alcohol was involved. I didn't relapse. But at the stroke of midnight on New Year's Day, 2024, I was getting my ass whooped, thumped, not okay. No, I held it in.
Physical violence, we're talking about, right?
Physical violence. I got front kicked Walker, Texas Ranger, 15, 20 times, violence. Wow. It was more than needed to be. But the positive thing was that situation has been toxic for months. And I didn't go to jail. I didn't drink or use. And, It didn't immediately lead to change, because I was praying real hard about it, and I was like, God, I don't know what the fuck to do. And then I had this root canal done, and that was Thursday last week, and she woke me up from a root canal nap, and I was not happy. And the only thing that saved my ass from going to jail, which people don't understand this, they think I'm fucking nuts when I say it, but the only thing that saved me from beating her up after that happened was a locked door. I have never put my hands on a woman, but I have been pushed to a point of no return. My anger was more than I could control, and I knew that something was going to happen, and the locked door saved me, and I didn't go back. I went to a hotel. I got away. I didn't have anywhere else to go. There was some other godly things that happened, I was supposed to go to one place, found out somebody was using there that shouldn't be using, that I thought was clean. But more is revealed. Somebody let me know. I didn't end up there. I ended up at the hotel. And then it got back to family that I was with somebody else. And honestly, I am with somebody else, but I didn't jump out of the frying pan and into the fryer. This is actually something that was a culmination of things. I'm clear-headed, I'm a little crazy, but I'm also still in fight or flight mode. But I just reached a safe place yesterday. I moved back into a safe place. I'm safe. I have not shit. I don't have nothing, but my peace is worth so much more than anything else. It's invaluable. It's priceless. It's a good place to be, and it's a good I can share so much hope. I got a book on hope, and I went to church yesterday. I don't go to church. There's been some wild shit happening. I got this bracelet that I had to go get, and the God blessed, I told Chuck this, that cop that interrogated me when I got felony charges as a kid, so they don't count, so I don't have to talk about them. They're gone. Bye. You guys got stuff on your record. Sorry, Chuck. Don't agree, whatever. Or Chantel, you'll see this later. You probably got shit I ain't got because you got caught when you were older. But like, so that cop was sitting in front of me at church, and I had to give him this bracelet that said "Saved by Grace, Saved to Serve." And like, there's been some spooky shit happening, like good things happening, like being here with this dipshit, dude. He's still like me. Like, we're having a fucking blast. We're not like a glum lot. We're not like miserable, sober, like clean and sober, beating on my chest. I'm having fun. And like, I've been through my darkest days recently, and they ain't that bad. I didn't like. I told somebody like I ain't laying in the bed dying for 4 days, shitting myself and throwing up. This ain't that bad. Like,
sorry.
I'll shut the fuck up, man.
Well, I just like, there's just so much there, dude. Honestly, like, first thing I'll say is like, it's a fool's errand to question the workings of the universe. Like we plinkle our way through life, and if we are, it's never the wrong thing to do the right thing. You know what I mean? Like, so if we are walking in that trajectory, then the universe finds a way to put that next brick under our foot. You know what I mean? And like, we may not think that's the right step to make, but we make it, and things seem to work out.
My bad. Sorry.
I don't know what happened.
Another dude showed up. I'm about to hit a triple, dude. I'm about to have 3 guys at this meeting that I invited that like don't normally come. So.
Oh, so you're just like, just legit excited about that right now?
Yeah, no. And then
Sticky, come here. Stick your head in here. This dude's name's Sticky. I wonder why. Stick your head in here.
Sticky.
Hey, what's up, I'm on like a recorded podcast.
What up, Sticky?
But they told me not to bring anybody on here, but we're not going to listen. But you can go talk to Luke.
Take it up with the producer.
Yeah. I don't like that guy anyways. Fuck that guy.
So I think, like, you said something like, dude, you don't got to have shit to be peaceful.
Mm-mm.
And we got, like, someone told me this a long time ago, he said, we got one rule in this life, and that's to enjoy the fucking ride. That's the only thing that is required in our lifetime, is to enjoy the gift we've been given, which is life itself. And like, it's really easy to not to lose sight of what's the saying, the sky for blue or whatever, and because we can get caught up in that. But I mean, at the end of the day, like, is there anything better than hanging out with a couple dudes, having laughs, and going to
3 of them in a row right there. There's 1, 2, 3.
That's not a CD case, is it? I'm just kidding.
Oh man, we gave that up, bro. We can blast.
We gave that up.
Yeah.
We don't do that no more.
Well, that's how long it's been for me.
Middle school, what the hell's wrong with you?
Who snorts anything anyway?
Me. He's over here shaming me too.
I want to, you touched on some heavier shit there, and like, man, here's what I'll say about like, I'll never cast judgment about being in that space where you're going to hit somebody or hit a woman, because like, if you ain't there, you don't know. And that's the way I kind of always looked at that. I had my judgments at one time until something happened to me in my life that I had to question that and be like, and every time I hear that now, it's like, I wasn't there.
I don't know.
Yeah, and that's it. You know what I mean? Like, I have my beliefs about it. I don't think it's right to hit women, but I've been in a situation. I'll tell you what, I've been in a situation.
Pushed too far. Pushed to the extreme.
Yeah, and sober.
Clean it. No, clean and sober. Don't like those words. I hate those words. Sober. Like.
And I'm not going to get into that and get myself into trouble with all that stuff anyway. So
treatment, people here, it keeps getting better.
Man,
I love it here.
Just looking, I love this excitement. I got to jump in on that.
Great.
Right?
It is great.
I can't do drugs no more. This is all I got.
Well, what you got's pretty good, I'd say, man.
It's the juice, boys.
Casey, if we can get your attention for just a couple more minutes here, because I know you got shit going on, bro, and I don't want to take you away from what you're doing at all.
You never had my attention.
I did.
Fucking sakes.
Casey,
hey.
You're close to the Mecca. You're close to Akron.
No. 2 hours.
That's close.
Nah,
I'm in Vancouver. I'm in Vancouver, Canada, man.
Yeah, I'm about to move up there.
Two hours is a commute.
Chantel's
right?
my real mom. I think somebody said that.
I think.
Trap House testimonies.
Chantel's
That hoe
your
is
old-
my
yeah.
mom. Somebody call her.
anyway.
Sis, I hope you see this. Somebody will tell her.
Listen, Casey. Listen.
No,
I want to talk just a couple more minutes with you.
That works better.
Okay.
Don't
Where's
listen.
my car? Where's my keys?
Hey.
Yeah, we honestly probably ought to go in here in just a minute.
Yeah, you're all jumped up and excited, and you're going to this meeting.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
How much of your ability to come back from all the shit that you've just recently gone from comes from that? Comes from this fellowship,
dude,
and the
some dickhead said the other day. He said, it breaks down into order, disorder, reorder, and it's your choice when you decide to pick up the pieces and go back into the reorder stages.
Oh.
So I dove back into AA. Dude, I'm a menace to myself. I'm a menace in life, but I'm also I've never tried to kill myself, honestly, never, ever. But they asked me that stupid question because I have such self-destructive tendencies. Like,
hey, Ashes to Awesome listeners, the following PSA is brought to you by the Phoenix. The Phoenix is not just a gym. It's a community where the real weight lifted is not just barbells, but hearts, minds, and spirits. Whether you're in recovery or simply choose to live a sober lifestyle, the Phoenix offers a range of activities from yoga to hiking, all led by people who've walked a path of transformation. So why not aim higher with the Phoenix? The first membership requirement is just 48 hours of sobriety. Rise from the ashes today and soar with the Phoenix. Hey listeners, let's take a moment to talk about something crucial. Carrying naloxone. This life-saving medication can reverse an opioid overdose in minutes. You might think, I don't need it. I'm not around opioids. But the truth is, you'll never know when you'll be in a situation where you could save a life. It's easy to use, and many places offer it for free or at a low cost. So let's be prepared and look out for each other. Remember, you might not plan on being around opioid use, but you never know when it'll be around you, and you could save the life of somebody that is loved. This is Jared Blaine with the Blacklist Podcast, and remember, you are loved.
Like, I tend to hurt myself so badly that it's just stupid. Like, why? I don't have to do that anymore. Like, I don't have to, like, self-destruct. Like, I have the all or nothing approach. I started going to the gym at 6 a.m. last week. Before the jumping off point of leaving, I started, like, changing my routine. Like, I got to do something different. This ain't working. Like, I don't know, like, just communicating with sober people. Like, I've made a lot of changes, and it's a short amount of time. It's like a week's time that I've really made a concerted effort to, like, because I'm off my meds, so I'm also, like, trying to prove something. And I can operate on spite. I can walk on my hands. Like, let me tell you, if you piss me off and you tell me I can't do something and I know that I can, I internally know that I can, I'm showing everybody something. And then I'm going to shake it at you, too. Like, that's that's my biggest problem. Like, I just...
Problem? That doesn't sound like a problem.
I am an issue.
Not at all.
I'm a walking issue. Yeah, you haven't talked to me very much. Just you wait till I send you something really fucked up and you're like, what's wrong with this human?
Well, I think you might be in good company, Casey.
Oh, no.
All right.
Don't encourage that kind of behavior.
Well, hey, look at Casey. I'm 45. This is what it looks like at 45.
Dude, if you're telling me that I get to do, if I'm going to look like that at 45, I'm going to have a good time.
Grow your bangs out.
Dude, honestly, I got this whole no cap thing going on because I'm autistic, and the dude cut my hair and he made it look real fancy like. And then I got to the car and I was like, fuck, I forgot to tell him to cut the top. Like, I wanted a mullet, dude. I got a fucking party in the front. It's shorter in the back. Like, it's
dude.
Looks great. If I played for that team, I'd do you. Yeah.
All right, I love you guys, but these guys are like standing out here jerking each other. I'm scared they might.
All right.
I'm scared they might have sex if I don't get out
Casey,
there.
Casey,
So,
shut up and give me a daily gratitude.
You first of all. Wait, just one?
Give me some
Because
gratitude.
if it's just one, I'm not.
Whatever you got.
If it's just one, I'm not using you.
Give me whatever you got for gratitudes, brother.
No, I only got one. And it's you, Chuck, for real. Like, you put up with this stupid motherfucker over here on this phone. Like, me, I'm such a menace, and you deal with it, and, like, you're kind of my safe place, because I send you shit that I can't send nobody else, and you think it's funny, and we won't talk about none of it, because, you know, that's some fourth and fifth step type shit, honestly. Like, I might tell my sponsor I did that, but I ain't fucking telling nobody else.
Is that where sandwich making comes from?
Yeah. Sandwich making for dummies. Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway.
honestly, I do.
Yeah.
I got a crash course on it, boys.
Okay.
Toodaloo, I'm out of here. These guys are leaving me.
Okay.
Love you.
Give me 3 words before you go. What are the words?
What?
Yeah.
You are
Say-
loved.
There you go,
Mostly-
brother. Have a great one, man.
Mostly, I don't know about you, Chuck. I like everybody else here, but not you. Love you.
You're a loved
Okay,
asshat. Go to your meeting, brother. Thanks for popping in. and
Goodbye.
helping
Love
us
you
out.
guys.
All right. Okay, man. Well, that's over. He's a ball of something, eh? That he is.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's fun. That's fun.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you. Yeah, you know, little, you know, like, tough to get my hooks in there, but pretty fun to watch.
Well, you know what? With this format, like this new format, we're just playing around anyway. So we're not playing around. We're testing, right? Guessing and testing. Yeah. So what do you got to say about everything you just heard, Ryan?
Honestly, first thing that comes to mind is that life is for living, and you know, we're gonna go through it. We're gonna go through all of it, and the more that I can, you know, be prepared, or not even prepared, accepting that I, as a human being, and experience all range of emotion through my lifetime. It might be a good idea for me to spend time with each one, not just the ones I like. Because if I can do that, then I can, you know, like when I know terror, when I know fear, when I know hurt, I can spend time with that in a way that I can make that into something that is valuable. And you know, my old mentor used to say all the time, right? You have to find value where value is undetected. And when I can find value in the midst of chaotic terror or fear, then that changes my entire set point of how I respond instead of react to any given emotion, which ultimately changes my trajectory of coping or my coping stance. Mm-hmm. And so typically when I don't spend time with emotions, I enter into a fear-based set point. Because fear is the lack of information. If I don't have the information, I don't know what it is, I get into fear, and fear causes me to cope, to come up with a strategy, which is usually already set and written in my brain mapping, and then that just triggers off, and I'm doing dumb shit, you know. But if I'm like, okay, I know this is hurt, or this is anger, or this is resentment, then I can be with that. And then I have tools with each one. You know, resentment, then I know that I lack compassion. If I enter into compassion, resentment goes away. Those two don't hold the same space at the same time. And so,
gotcha. Sure.
What you know, that was, you know, a bit scrambly. But if you just kind of filter the noise out a little bit, what we saw was a really good example of the phenomena of human resiliency in how we can find peace in any corner. We can find a peaceful state at any given time. It's just a matter of having the consciousness to understand that being an option, choosing that option, and then doing the actions it takes to actualize that option or make it real. Okay. And so this case here, it's like, fucking blam, craziness happens. And, you know, like, I don't know what led up to that, but it sounds like there's a toxic relationship, which means there's some element of responsibility on both sides. And then coming to terms with that, surrounding himself with people that are interested in his well-being.
Yes.
And then, and which is an act of love. You know, to do something for someone else without expectation of anything in return. And so, and then, you know, the other little mate, like going to the gym at 6 o'clock. That's what I do. I know that step because that step is important to my own mental health and my own well-being. Mind you, I didn't go last week, but we had a snowstorm, shut the whole world down. So
there was centimeters of snow.
Oh man, I don't even know what a centimeter is, but okay, we had sure.
No, that's an inch. That's an inch. Sorry. Yeah.
See, that's what I know what an inch is. So we had probably I don't know, maybe 2 feet of snow.
Oh, that's significant in your part of the world. That's
if
really
you think about how much it rains when it gets to minus whatever, it was like minus 14 or something. That turns into snow, and it just dumps, and now it's almost all gone because it's been raining. So, but like we didn't work Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Offices were all shut down. Schools were shut down. And so we built forts.
Wow.
We built forts, and we played I Spy and every other little game for 1 and 6-year-old you can think of. Yeah. So, so it was
That's
wrestle
hilarious.
but not wrestle. Yeah. Anyway, my point here is like, Casey has learned enough to know to surround himself with the people that know what to do when he doesn't. That's what that sounds like to me. And then listening to that.
Yeah.
And taking those actions. And the actions are where that's the proof. That's where the rubber hits the road, pardon the saying. But, like I said, the easy thing to do is throw the fuck it switch.
Yep. True story, right? True story.
The problem is and I come from a different time when throwing the fuck it switch didn't mean you were going to die. For sure, now that fucking switch is really an electric chair.
Yeah.
So
it is.
It's and then the other side of that dude is like just like again I've been so far removed like that excitement of having a car full, going to a meeting and being all hopped up on caffeine, nicotine, and life. And seeing that happen is pretty cool, man. I mean, I gotta say, it's been a long time since I've got
and
to
I should
sit.
Say, the 3 people that he was going with, they were newcomers or newcomers again anyway, right? So when I talked to him about jumping in place of the guest that wasn't able to make it tonight, it was like, yeah, man, but like I got to be done by 7 because I'm taking newcomers, right?
Yeah.
And how excited he was for that, right? And like. To be able to attach yourself to that kind of service and like, I think that's so cool. I just do, it's to be excited to help other people. Right.
I mean, it's like, I always say that the coping mechanism that ends up being an addictive behavioral issue is typically, not a very healthy one. But in this stance here, it's like his coping choice was to get back to center.
Yeah.
Instead of kerosene in a match.
Absolutely.
And then, I think my thought was, that like a relapse clears the slate, which is a really shameful thing. But my personal experience is like, how many times have I done something stupid and thought to myself, you know what? If I relapsed, I would have the support of my community again, or whatever. Like whatever. I did a lot of dumb shit in the rooms years ago, and probably deserve something. But I mean, like I said, there's value in everything, and so I often didn't choose to relapse and instead bury myself in resentment and judge people and become better than them and all those things, project superiority while experiencing inferiority.
Yeah. I've had some recent experience with that, to say the least, which actually does segue into my point. Gratitude yesterday, Chantel on her page at Trap House Testimonies likes to, hey, let's get some gratitudes. And then when I listed off, everything you just said, as a matter of fact, was being thankful for better coping strategies, coping mechanisms, right? Everything in the last few weeks, especially, and then, really coming to a head this past week, I was in survival mode. I was stressed out. And then it occurred to me after the fact, it's like, fuck, man, I didn't feel like relapsing. Like at no point did I have an urge to use through all of that. Right. And it was like, I'm really grateful for better coping mechanisms. So it just like you said, right? Chose to do something else, chose to cope with it in a different way. And wow.
Do you understand how that happens?
Over time? It's just
Not just time though. It's practice.
Yeah. Yeah.
I always talk about practicing the art of living. That is that practice. And and to the point, it's like our conscious efforts become part of a subconscious being over time. I'm consciously doing something different. It's like, waking up early for work. The first week you start a job where you got to be at work for 5:30 and you're getting up at 4. That week sucks.
Mm-hmm.
A year later, you're getting up at 4 on a Saturday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it just becomes part of how we are. Yeah. And so it really it's a neurofeedback response, but that I'm not going to get into the technicalities of all of that here.
Yeah.
But it's the practice of which changes our brain mapping, the way our behaviors develop.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Most definitely,
and always with an emotional driver, of course.
Yeah. Yes.
So that was something. Yeah.
Came in like a wrecking ball. I love it.
I honestly, I'd like to, see we get Casey on again. I'd like to maybe more
without a doubt. Yeah.
Controlled environment, because there was a lot there that I would have liked to unpack a bit, but it just wasn't the right. Venue,
it's not the right time, right? Like I said, I found out our guest wasn't going to be able to make it 2 hours ahead of time, so I was kind of scrambling to get somebody on. Casey's kind of you can always count on Casey to put up what he can, right? So, and he did, and I appreciate that.
Clearly, yeah.
And he's, if nothing else, he's always entertaining.
So
I do love him.
You know what the other thing that I thought of there was that the control. I need another word than locus. Our control options.
Okay.
Which are effort, commitment, environment, and perception.
Yeah.
And so look what he exercised in the last week of his life.
Yeah.
Commitment.
All of the things, right?
Effort, environment, and perception. All those things he embodied in a very asset way. I don't have to use positive or negative because it's subjective. But what he did was created more value in his life by doing things that didn't cause this to be in the background. What he went, because when you enter into a state of like extreme relapse or that burning it down, what you're doing is you're making the problem you had really non-existent or inconsequential compared to the actual
right.
Right. It's like, I'll deal with that in 8 months of my step forward.
that alligator is much closer to the boat, as Mike would say. Right.
Yeah.
So right.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
It's one of his favorites. And you know what? Before we get into gratitudes, I will speak really quickly to, and I'm sure you haven't had time. I know you've got the family and the jobs going on in your life.
Yeah.
The trauma series that we have been doing with Mike. We finished the 3rd episode. We've got a 4th one yet to do that we've been doing with Mike and Lisa on the Weekend Ramble. Has been phenomenal. So guys, check that out if you haven't. It's been mind blowing to have, and I'm sure this is you do quite well in an episode with these two. It's Dr. Lisa and Mike Miller. I mean, how much education, how much life experience, how much everything is going into those conversations, man. There's something else. Right.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I would love to be. I wish I had the time. I know. I'd love to be part of.
Right. I think you would love to be on the show. You'd love to be a fly on the wall, man, just to hear what these guys. You know what I mean, right? Like it's just
217 edit.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, no. Yeah, I definitely want to check it. As you know, like I obviously have a lot of love and respect for both Mike and Dr. Lisa, and yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe I'd be out of my league with those two, to be honest with you.
Well, and there goes that the imposter syndrome thing that we all, right? If you can imagine me sitting in an episode of them in my grade 9 education, I can totally relate to what you're saying, and maybe in even a bigger way. But
I mean,
it's something else, man. It is. Mike really dives deep into the first episode. We talk about internal family systems therapy. The second episode, we get into cognitive behavior therapy, the way as he practices it.
Yep.
And in the third, we get into EMDR. Yep. And throughout these episodes, we talk about how all three of those work together for him in his therapeutic environment, and how one feeds into the other, and what he's doing over there at Yatra Center. They, of course, they're the title sponsor of the show, and by now you will have heard that as a listener or watcher or whatever. But what an amazing experience at Yatra. Which is just everything about it, and to have Mike kind of unpack some of that stuff and be able to talk. And here's an interesting thing: as a therapist, to be able to sit in a public forum and talk about the things that happened in that room with somebody, a very rare thing that you could ever do, to sit and talk with a client after the fact, right? And of course, for him, all sorts of boundaries were put up while we were in the process there. Well, during my stay at Yatra, they were put on himself. He put boundaries on himself, on his staff, on me, to make sure that there was never any ethics issues. Yeah. Now, at my insistence, we're able to talk about that process, because I feel it's important that I share with the world, right? And I've got a platform where I can really help some people. So it's a really interesting thing. And so, from your lens as a therapist, to be able to, that's a pretty unique experience, right? To be able to do that in a public way. So even to sit down and talk, afterwards, would you ever sit there and talk with a client for a significant amount of time about what happened in the session, or you just let what happened in the session happen? Right. You know what I mean? So that, never mind the public forum part. Right.
Yeah. Definitely. It's kind of, when I worked in the treatment center, it was pretty common to go over a section after or a day later or something like that. I mean, in my private practice, that never happens.
No, because it's billable hours, right? Like we're gonna spend billable hours doing some stuff today, not talking about yesterday, right? So right.
So it is different. But it is really cool, because it I don't know, like the process when it becomes part of you, it's very seamless and seems like a conversation that just flows. And then when you get to break it down, you see how technical it really is.
That's
what I mean? And
for me, that's the aha, right? Throughout the entire, it's like, wow, right? And it took me, and I don't know if I've said this to you, I was probably on week 3 at the Yatra Center before I realized that there was a formula of sorts happening.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm pretty introspective and analytical, so I don't know if everybody picks up on that, but I was like, hey, wait, whoa. So then I asked him about it. So what the fuck is going on here? Right? And then he kind of explained, well, we did this, then this, and this because of this, this, and this, right? So,
it's the mark of a good therapist that that you took 3 weeks. I mean, that just goes to show. And that, you hear it all the time. Like, I went to this person and they were too by the book. Well, that's what they're saying, is that it wasn't organic and rhythmic. It was conscripted and formulaic. And when it feels like that, it feels almost contrived, or like that there isn't an authentic element to it. And so, but when you I'm a phenomenologist, I'm an existentialist, and those are very cyclical modalities that are completely dependent on an organic flow. But when I take it and start breaking it down into process, then clients are like, oh, whoa, I didn't realize that you were doing that or doing this, and like why you went there, and like, and they explaining tap points and things like that. Like, clients give so much to the counselor if the counselor is with them, and they're not waiting to, and I think people just fall victim to like, that the most basic premise of active listening, and most people don't actively listen. They think
that's one of those things where when you hear it, you think
what you're saying.
Yeah. Active listening is, and that's like the biggest communication barrier ever, right? It's, preparing your next statement. But that the whole active listening, I'll tell you, it's kind of like CBT to me. It's one of those things where you think you know what it is because you hear the name and you know what that means. You know what I mean? Right. And then you're like, oh, there's a fucking process here. Like active listening isn't just like paying attention. There's so much more that goes into it than that. Right. But and honestly, the sitting here now, you say that to me and it's like, well, yeah, I actively listen. No, because I don't know what the technicalities of that are. Right. So how could I? And so the same goes with CBT and all sorts of different things. Right.
I think the more you spend time with that skill, the deeper and deeper and deeper that definition becomes.
Yeah,
that active listening definition, and because
I'm sure it does. Right, it's forming its own neural loops and its own. Right.
Well, I mean, it starts with your ears, but always ends up with your heart.
Yeah. Right. So
if it's being done well, anyway, and so I mean, there's I think I got to go listen to those. I know I do. And I see them, when I scroll. The other thing I'm trying to do is put my phone away on the weekends so that I can cut down screen time and have more presence and the technology cleanse or social media cleanse, if you will.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, give a listen while you're driving or whatever.
Yeah, that's typically when I do get to do that. If I'm not, I do spend a lot of time driving, talking to family members and stuff, and so a lot of the unbillable hours are still working hours. Yeah. So I mean, that was. I'd like to get that. I'd like to get Casey on again.
We'll get him on again. Absolutely. Yeah. When he's able to focus on what we're doing and all that, right? So, but hey, listen, that brings us to my favorite part of the show.
Room to crack the egg there. To be honest with you.
That brings us to my favorite part of the show. It's daily gratitudes. What you got for us today?
Oh. There's always so many, and I don't want to keep doing the same things over and over.
But here's the thing about gratitudes. I'll put you on pause for a second. I'll put you on pause. The thing about daily gratitudes is people feel the need to come up with something that's kind of profound or whatever, or big or grandiose. And it's like sometimes it's a cup of coffee. Sometimes it's every single day. It's your family, and that's okay, right? Like there's zero expectation put on a daily gratitude, especially by anybody else, right? So, what you got for us today?
Well, here's my thing. It's not about necessarily that. It's about what's authentic to me right now. And so, in order for me to do that, I need to go in. I can give you the list. I can give you the conscripted fucking verse, but I don't want to do that. And so, I think today it's really about I'm grateful that anything is possible, that potential is limitless, and that once someone said to me once, you don't got to wait till midnight to turn your day around. I don't have to wait a lifetime to turn my life around. You know what I mean? And it's not like I'm turning anything around right now, but I have that option to start in a trajectory of any direction that I want at any given time. And I'm really grateful to have healthy kids, and I'm grateful to have kids. I'm grateful to be here doing this instead of one thing that I'm awful at is committing suicide. Think sweet hallelujah. I don't know what you want to call it, but there's one thing that I'm glad I'm awful at. Breathing air today and on this show, and I get to talk about things that I like and interest me here, and just everything is possible. I'm grateful for that. I'm also grateful for my beautiful wife and kids that I'll throw in every time, because that's never changing.
Of course, right? Of course. Myself, I am not thankful for that rooster you hear in the background. Hopefully Riverside cuts that out. My neighbors have roosters, and I hear them all day, starting about 5 a.m. It's that whole, when the sun comes up, it's a line of shit. Roosters crow all day. there's no when the sun comes up. It's long before the sun comes up, and it goes until the sun goes down. So the thing is he's got fighting roosters, which I don't even want to get into that.
Maybe put a clock
topic.
up in their pen.
Yeah, why not? Right? Yeah, he's got fighting roosters, so they're sitting over there. They're talking shit to each other.
So Roy Jones used to train.
Right. Oh yeah, with a clock in his pen. Right.
No,
a clock for his
Roy
fighting
Jones
cocks. Yeah.
Practices his handwork with fighting roosters.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Yeah. Something I read 20 years ago.
Yeah. What I am thankful for, is my dog Sonny. Lately he's my thing. You know, he just makes me so happy all the time, even when I'm at my worst. I am thankful.
Yeah.
I'm always thankful for my recovery, but again, the coping mechanisms. I'm thankful for my mom, who once again this month has stepped up. Just love that woman. And I am thankful to each and every person who continues to watch, listen, like, comment, share, do all the things down at the bottom. Because every time you do one of these things, you're getting me a little bit closer to living my best life. My best life is to make a humble living, spreading the message. The message is this: if you're in active addiction right now, today could be the day. Today could be the day that you start a lifelong journey. Reach out to a friend, reach out to a family member, call them detox, go to a meeting, go to church. I don't really care. Do whatever it is you've got to do to get that journey started, because it is so much better than ever. And if you have a loved one who's suffering an addiction right now, you're just taking the time to listen to this kind of odd episode. You just take 1 more minute out of your day and text that person, let them know they're loved. Use the words.
You are loved.
That little glimmer of hope just might be the thing that brings them back. Yeah, so we went 45 minutes. Yeah.
My body's getting cold. My life is running low. Feel me falling. My life is running out. I pray I make it now. But if I don't, it will be okay. I'll find you another day, and I'm not scared to go. It will be okay. I'll find you another way, and I'm not scared to go, because when I die, I'll be happier. Be a ladybug soaring through the sky. Please search for me. Please find me. So please don't cry when I land on your arms. Spread my wings and fly. So please don't cry.